Hello, this is Worsin with Worsin's Immersive Power Armor Garage. And in this video, I am going to kind of showcase the new 2.5. We're going to go over all the features. It's probably going to be a pretty long video, maybe 40 minutes or so. We're going to build a whole set of armor, and then we're going to go kick some ass. So let's get to it. Now, the first thing that we want to do is we want to create a new power armor frame. So, here in this workbench, this is the Advanced Engineering Workbench from Armor Keywords. You're going to need all these. You're going to need the paint bench. You're going to need the electronics bench. The Armorsmith bench is useful for sure. And you're going to need the Advanced Engineering Workbench. So to create the frame, we go here to PA Frames and Kits. And right there, we can create this frame item. And I think I've got it now where it actually ends up in your inventory as well. Huh. Thought I had it so it ended up in your inventory. That's okay. We'll work on that later. Anyway, so once you've crafted that, you drop this down. You go here to Special. Okay. And you drop it down like any other workshop item. And you'll notice we've got all kinds of different types. We've got XO1, all the different PAs, including Overboss, which is a new addition to the mod as Overboss. So we're going to do T60. Now the nice thing about this is I can scrap it and turn it into T51 if I want, okay? And the great thing about this is if you steal armor, say from Brotherhood of Steel or from the Atom Cats, and you've got the big red Christmas tree lighting up because it was stolen, then you can exchange it for a new set that has the name on it and everything like this, and it just says Power Armor, whereas this one will be what it actually is. So we're going to go ahead and do T60. I don't know why I like T60 so much. Put that right there. Okay, so there we go. Now, let's go down the line, and we're going to gather up some of the things that we're going to need to create a set of power armor. The first thing we'll do is paints. So we open our paint bench, and I am going to create, let's go ahead and do red and yellow. So first we're going to need some of this. This is chromium solution for the chrome effect. Now, if you're using the easy mode patch or the easy mode version of the Power Armor Paint Garage, then you're not going to need to do this part. You'll be able to paint them for free if you want. I'm doing the hard mode just so I can show it off a little bit. That should be enough. And then some yellow. Okay, that's plenty. All right, so the next thing is we're going to need armor items, okay? So let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to pretend like we got these in a drop. Now, I'm actually just going to craft these real quick. I've already unlocked T60, but I'm going to unlock T51 just to show you how it works. So let's say we went around the map and we found ourselves a set of T51 power armor. And now let's say we want to... I didn't unlock T60 in this save. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Let's put this away. Worsin's not very organized today. All right, so let's go back because I want to do T60. So let's pretend we're moseying along and we got some T60 armor, or we met with Brotherhood of Steel and we got our T60 armor and we want to turn it into advanced armor. Well, first we need to reverse engineer it so we can unlock the recipes for that armor. So you notice here we got T51 and T60 now. So go ahead and do that. And it's putting these in my inventory so you can store them somewhere if you want. I may turn that into a perk later so it's not an actual inventory item. I haven't decided yet. So anyway, we've unlocked that. Now, if we leave the station and go back in, we're going to see T51 and T60 here, but also in reverse engineering, T60 and T51 will be gone. So that way we kind of know what we have left to unlock. Raider is unlocked by default. So you can already make Raider from the beginning. And then level-wise, you can unlock T45 and then T51 and then T60 and X01. I believe are the same requirements. Okay, so we've got our things unlocked. Oh, we need to make our armor now. So let's go ahead and craft our armor items. There we go. Walking slow because we're all over encumbered. Okay, so there's our armor. T60. Now, let's cover the specializations really quick. So when we first make this, it is a vanilla spec. Essentially, this is a base model T60 set with the stats that you would get in vanilla if you had the first level of lining. Okay, so it's the lowest, pretty sure that's how I did it, the lowest level vanilla power armor. Okay. Now to specialize, we have 6 choices. We've got assault, we've got brawler, heavy assault, recon, sniper, and wastelander. Now these specialize in these areas, of course. Heavy assault is like very, very tanky. Brawler gets a lot of bonuses to unarmed damage, and it gets access to mods that are more geared towards unarmed combat. Assault is more DPS, damage-based. Can't quite take the beating that heavy assault can, but it can take around as much as brawler. They're about the same as far as defenses go. And then recon is very lightweight, very fast. It gets access to all of the fastest run speed mods in combination with all the fastest jump mods. We've got sniper, which gets the most aiming stabilization and targeting matrices and stuff like that for the most damage bonuses to certain mobs. And then Wastelander is kind of an all-around exploration. It gets good rad resistance, gets good exploration type of tools. Like you can do all 3 levels of the hacker mod and the lockpick mods and stuff like that. So that's kind of how the specializations go. Obviously, this is a work in progress. Over time, I'm going to further specialize the mods that you have access to based on the spec. So in the end, hopefully they'll all have a very unique role. They all have their strengths and weaknesses, and they'll be very different in playstyle from each other. So in order to specialize the mods, what we're going to do is we're going to create some software. And we're going to do assault is what we're going to do. So we go here to software, and I've already got an assault piece of software. You notice I have one. And I have one blank tape. So I can create one assault specialization software using one software and a blank. So what's actually happening is I'm getting 2 with this. So once you discover or purchase, you can either purchase the software from a vendor, from certain vendors, or you can find them in drops off of robots. And I'm going to tune this a little bit more than it is now, but for right now it's robots and I think a few synths. And you can also get them in the expert safe. And so once you find one, which can take a while to find one, you can create copies of it. And so every time, let's create some software. Okay, that's enough. Okay, so I'm starting with 1. Now I got 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can make copies of this. Okay. So the key is you just don't ever want to spend your last one. You want to use, you want to make plenty of copies. And it's easy enough to do. So I've got plenty of copies now of Assault software. So now I need to combine the software with a universal kit. Okay. And to do that, I can either craft kits from scratch. So there's the universal kit. You just craft some. And then I can create Assault specialization kits. Or I can deconstruct kits from other armor items. So if I get, say, a bunch of T45 in, or, this is vanilla, right? Any of the vanilla armor items, PA armor items, I can deconstruct that, similar to the reverse engineering. I can deconstruct that into PA kits. So there's several ways to get PA kits. You can also buy them and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and make a bunch of these. You only need 1 per item, so I only need 6 total. Okay, so now we're ready to assemble our armor. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and just add the kit. Now, something to know about this system. If you try to add an assault kit to, say, Helm, heavy assault to arms, recon to legs, brawler to torso, you're going to find that when you get in your armor, you go about, 1 step a year, okay? It slows your speed, okay? So I did that on purpose because I didn't want people mixing and matching specializations. The idea is that it's 1 specialization per frame, and by mixing and matching them, you mess it up. Otherwise, you could create some pretty overpowered combinations. So here we are. We've got assault on all of them. Now, start with the helm. If you notice, once I assigned assault, now I've got all these things opened up. So I can assign my plate type. Now, each plate type has advantages and disadvantages. Ceramic, for example, is higher resists and energy. Carbon is pretty balanced, but the most I can use on assault is MK2 carbon. Heavy assault gets MK3 carbon, okay? So depending on the spec, you are limited to certain materials and certain levels, tier levels of those materials. Like there is fiberglass is one of them, very lightweight. It actually adds to your carry weight. Fiberglass does. But it's only available with Recon and Sniper. You can't use it with Assault. I mean, who'd run around in Assault, PA with fiberglass chassis? You don't want that, right? So the material and the tiers are limited depending on the spec. So with this example, I'm going to go ahead and we'll use carbon. Now you notice tier 2 plating enhancement. So when I added carbon, it unlocked the second tier level of enhancements. If I was to go back and do, say, ceramic, it's going to give me the third level of plating enhancement. So that plate controls the plating enhancement level that you have access to as well. So that further puts some decision making in for you, the player, to determine which one is going to be best for what you want to do. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add explosive to all of these. Carbon and explosive. I would pause the video, but I'm far too lazy for that. This will only take a minute anyway. You can see there's a lot of them. I added a ton of new ones. Scented lining, +2 charisma, when all 5 items have it. So lots of cool, fun stuff to mess with. Greatly expanded on the list of, and that's essentially materials. You can kind of think of linings as plating and materials as the plating enhancement. Now, one thing to notice, you notice my health right now, 1, with no stats. The moment you add a specialization, it zeroes out all the stats. All of the stats actually come from the plating, okay? All the main stats, at least, come from the plating. So keep that in mind. Okay. So there we go. Now we've got carbon and explosive on everything. So now let's take a look at our helm. So the first thing to notice here, I'm going to open this up, is some of these. Now, okay, let me back up. As a rule, you're going to have access to why does that say? Oh, okay. As a rule, you're going to have access to anywhere from 1 to 3, and there's like one mod that gives you 5 tiers of mods per mod type, meaning that Assassination Matrix MK3, this is the first level of Assassination Matrix available to Assault. Recon gets, for example, Assassination Matrix levels 1 through 3. Assault gets 3 through 6. 3 through 5. Okay. Now, if you notice here, increases damage by 20% against humans. Liquid cooling unlocks higher tiers of this mod. So what is that? Okay, well, let's check that out. Liquid cooling is actually in the medical and filtration section right there. Okay. So the idea is that you're sacrificing a slot over here. You can no longer use this for mods. But in return, you now have access to 2 additional tiers of Assassination Matrix, as well as these and these. I mean, it unlocked a lot of stuff for you, okay? So that's something to think about. You can either choose to use lower tiers and multiple slots. Maybe you want to use a rebreather, so you end up only doing, you know, MK4 secondary VATs, and you add a rebreather in the medical slot, or maybe you don't need the rebreather, so you want to go with tier 6. Now I'm going to go with time dilation unit, because this is my new favorite thing in the world. I'll demo this in a minute. Okay, so that's kind of how a lot of the slots work. Okay, every armor item has certain mods and certain tiers that are not available unless you unlock those higher tiers using an item in another slot. And I'll point out some of the other ones as we go through this. Now, in the future, the liquid cooling is going to require a component that's only a dropped item initially off of a really hard mob. And then once you get one of those, you'll be able to reverse engineer that item to create more of them for use in more power armor. So it'll be similar to the software system, where you got to get something in a drop and then you can craft more, okay? Only it'll be, you know, a component that is required in order to craft that. And I think that's going to add some interesting aspects to the game by doing that. Okay, so moving on, let's do helmet. This is the fun part here. Okay, so here's our grid. This is going to change the screen itself, okay, making things brighter, right? Night vision, thermal, infrared, those sorts of things. Now, for this demonstration, I'm going to use the top tier, uber, awesome color, no blur, and it's going to make it almost like daytime. Now, this is overpowered shit. Totally admitted. But it's also only available with 4 science, 4 armor. So this is a late game item, okay? And it's going to be hard to get as well. This is another example of one of those items that's going to require something like, say, a drop off of the Mechanist, right? That you could then reverse engineer and craft more of. So this will be the highest tier thermal vision here, the full color, no blur. Now, once I've got one of these, and keep in mind, I can also choose to do just a base sensor grid. I don't need night vision in order to unlock sensors. But once you add one of these, it unlocks sensors, which are all here now, okay? And so what I want to do is I want to add friend highlighting for daytime, okay? So during the day, I want, say, green highlighting on friends. And enemies, let's make them pink, because why not? And corpses, let's make those blue. And friends at night. Now, most night vision, and this is just the way the game works, is it's gonna make all these colors for the most part white when you start applying the brightness adjustments to the screen. The thermal vision pretty much always overrides the highlighting. So what I did is I added in added in white and black. So for me, I'm going to do black thermal for friends. I'm going to do white thermal for enemies. And we'll do white thermal for corpses as well. There we go. Okay, now Recon. This is the pip, the compass pip above the head of enemies. We'll go ahead and add that too. And headlamp, we can add, say, bright, or heck, let's do purple. I'm not going to use that anyway. I'm going to be using night vision. And then we'll add our paint. Oh, whoops. I unlocked the category. I didn't actually add the paint. So let's go back. So I unlocked color with color flames. And there we go, red and yellow, or yellow and red. We'll do red and yellow. And I'm not going to do legendary effect because that would be so overpowered. Okay. All right, so arm, same thing. We've got our lining and everything. So let's go to gears and servos. And so this is the unlocker in arms, the glove pump. This is going to give higher tiers of items in the fist category. For this example, I'm just going to go with, let's go with electronic stabilizers 4. And then in fist attachments, as a assault, I get access to up to advanced locks. Now, this is a mod that is special. Here's how this works. You notice this lock symbol over here. That basically means that if I don't have locksmith, it's available. If I do have locksmith, it's not available. And the reason is it breaks until I figure out a fix for it. It currently breaks the ability to open locks if you have this and the perk. So I've got it locked out, so if you have the perk, you can't have this. Here's the thing though, this negates the need for the perk anyway. Now, it comes later than you can get the perk. Okay, so, you know, this is level 21, right? So you got to be 21 to get this. And then, like, let's say Recon, you can actually get this at, you can get up to master. Not at 21, but you can get up to master locks with the Recon. So each spec gets its own lockpicking, and the same works for the hacker. So if you don't want to spend points in locksmith or hacker, you can avoid that by waiting a little longer and using the mod. Okay. I'm going to just do, let's see, I don't do unarmed damage, cryo damage. Might as well. We'll do lockpicking. I'm not going to do it, but I've added it. Okay, so there's our color. There we go. And legs. So legs has improved gears. Or I can add a turbo compressor. Oh, that's odd. I'll have to fix that little thing. Turbo compressor gives more things in the exhaust section. But I'm going to go ahead and just do improved gears. Now, it's only 2.5% increase, but hey, we'll take what we can get. If this was Recon, it would be trucking, man. Recon is a lot of fun because you can do really fast with Recon. But we can do powered hydraulics, plus 10% jump. We'll take that. Or we could do turbo motor, and that would actually unlock higher tiers of improved gears. So we could go faster with Recon or with assault, but we'd have to give up the ability to do increased jump in order to do that. Now here's the cool thing about Recon. Recon gets the full set of tiers, all 3 tiers of hydraulics and improved gears without needing a turbo motor. So that's a really cool aspect of Recon. It may be a glass cannon, but that sucker can jump and go really fast. Okay, so we've got yellow flames. There we go. And then I'm going to just buzz through really quick and do the same thing on all of these. Now, I'm not going to do lockpicking again because that would be useless. So I'll go ahead and just do whatever. We'll do hardened knuckles. The fist is mainly for brawler. That's the one that really gets the best use out of the fist slots. I'm still trying to figure out some uses for the fist in other areas. I may add some increased energy damage, those sort of mods. I may add that to the fist section. Okay, primer. There we go. No legendary. Legs, same thing. We'll go with improved gears. And powered hydraulics. All right, now chest has some really cool stuff in it. So primary systems, power distributor, Unlocks higher tiers of all emitters and core assembly mods. But what I'm going to do is we're going to actually, we're going to do the secondary system. We're going to add an improved power supply instead, and that's going to give us Stealth Boy, because that's my second new favorite toy. All right. And then also we want to choose our power core. Now this replaces the nuclear physicist perk. Now you still need to do the perk to get this, okay? But what this does is instead of the perk providing the bonus to power cores, it still provides the bonus to damage. It just doesn't provide the bonus to power cores anymore. That bonus is provided by these mods. Now the good thing is these mods are more powerful than those original bonuses were. But they're a give and take again. They're more powerful when you're not in combat, less powerful when you are in combat. And so 70% less drain when out of combat, 40% less drain when in combat, but it also gives 125% more power core health. So it's going to affect your ammo count if you use a Gatling laser, that sort of thing, as well as the amount of power you have available. Now we forgot to do attachment. You can do storage racks. This is your carry weight increaser. Recon gets the most, but still plus 100 is pretty good. Or you can do a jetpack. People are probably not going to like this, but you can't do storage racks and a jetpack. To me, that didn't make a lot of sense. So we're going to do our jetpack, and you'll notice this is a little different than 1.7 if you played 1.7. The jetpack is no longer a separate craftable armor item because it's just too glitchy, too buggy. I could never figure out the problems with it. And so it is back to the default method. But the good thing is it is going to paint just like the other one did. And it's actually going to take on the color of the chest. So you don't have to paint it. It automatically paints when you paint the chest. Let's go ahead and add our red and yellow flames. All right, and we could add, we could do Tesla. It does work. We're not going to do that, though. So there we go. There is our power armor setup. Look at that bad mofo. All right. We got the, that's the waxed version of the paints. Ready to roll. So let's get in and test it out here real quick. I may cut the video here and then make another one where we're going around killing stuff. That way you don't have to watch me travel. Now the visor, the thermal vision, is automated depending on the time of day and whether or not you have your gun out. So you can turn it off at any time by just putting away your gun, or you can turn it on by getting your gun out. So I have Darker Nights installed, okay? And so with Darker Nights, it is going to be a little bit different than vanilla, but I'm going to make a patch I've tuned it for vanilla, but I'm going to make a patch for Darker Nights. And it looks pretty good right now with Darker Nights, but I'm going to make sure that Darker Nights and vanilla each have their own mode. Mainly because Darker Nights gets dark earlier in the evening, and there's a few hours that it's kind of dark, and I'd like it to pop on earlier. So I will make those adjustments for the Darker Nights players. You can download an ESL patch for that. So you notice friends are in black. Black thermal. Go down here. There's a friendly animal. And there's a rabbit suspended in the sky. Where's an unfriendly? I just want to, before I cut this out, I want to do night just for a second to show unfriendly. Okay, there we go. So we can see some unfriendlies off there in the distance in white. Now, if you notice, that was the time slow right there. 2-second time slow on scope. Yeah, kind of OP. It's alright, it's going to be hard to make. Okay. Whoops. Okay, so I'm going to cut the video here, and I'm going to travel to an area that has more mobs, and we'll have some fun and test out this power armor. Okay, we're back, and we have found some mobs. And I also cranked up NPCs Travel a little bit. And so there's a lot more spawns going on right now. Okay, so that sound you hear, that's the time slow. So let's mark these guys. We've got some doggies. Okay, I'm not the greatest player, so beware. I'm a better modder than I am a player. Alright, so they lit up blue as we had in our previous settings. So we've got blue. Everything's working good. And that's our custom sneak sounds. Oh shit, Murlex. These guys are a pain. We'll go up to this bridge. There's always some mobs up here. I thought I saw some up here earlier. Alright, well, we'll go down here. This is when you wish you had a Recon. I'm also using better location damage and lots of mods that increase the difficulty of spawns, legendaries, harder bosses, unique creatures, Deadlier Deathclaws. I'll put a list of my some of my mods that I'm using for this demonstration in the YouTube description when I upload this. Makes the game a lot better. I also crank the experience down to like 25% and I remove all crafting experience. I have never had so much fun in this game until I did that. It made the game a lot more challenging, a lot longer. Oh, he's green, so he's a friendly. We didn't install the hacker thing, so we can't test that. He was an easy one. Some of these may have spawned when I was lower level. So they may, some of them may be easier. That's why I'm traveling to an area that's maybe a little harder. Because I did cheat in my level, so you never know how that affects the spawns. I might have come down here once or twice and they may have spawned. I haven't done this area in this playthrough, so... Oh, there we go. Headshots are quick. Oh, look at that dude. Yeah, so I know from experience that he's going to be hard, even with my overpowered gun. Here, we'll aggro him. Oh, he got wasted. Oh, no, he didn't. Let's see how this armor fares against this guy. He refuses to go red on me. Oh, shit. Oh, he's running. Who is this mob? He must be some kind of quest mob or something. Let's see if there's a name on him. He don't want to aggro against me for some reason. I've seen him before with these mods that I have installed, and he was green then also. But I never attacked him because he ended up dying like right over there. Alright, who else can we cap? We got somebody over here. Like a zit. Get these guys in here. And this time slow works with any iron sight, so it doesn't have to be scope. You could do it with a pistol. I just, I fell in love with this overpowered BR-77 gun. That's ridiculous. Normally it wouldn't be this difficult to kill stuff, but this gun is pretty overpowered. Not exactly balanced. That's alright. Did that guy die yet? We'll have to watch out for the... Oh, there's a power armor guy over here we could try killing. Watch out for his nuke, though. He's behind that fence. My behemoth companion. What the hell is with this guy? He's completely ignoring me, man. I don't know what to do. Now, this sound effects for time slow, I'm going to make a version of the mod that's installable. Whoops. That does not have the sound effect if you don't want it, so you'll just be able to install the no sound version of the mod in the same game. Yeah, that dude, see the power armor. Even the stealth boy with this stealth sound. Oh! See, now I could take this Raider stuff and I could turn it into universal kits. Well, once I fix the recipe. There we go. Well, I'll go ahead and end the video here. I think you guys got a good idea of some of the features. Hold on, let's check on our friend over here. Boy, there's action going on all over the place. I'm not sure where all of them are.
I'll find you.
Anyway, okay, so that's it. Thanks for watching, and come join us in the Discord channel if you have any questions or want to download the mod, or just chat about features, give suggestions, that sort of thing. Stop on by the links in the mod page, and oh yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you later.